I would like to acknowledge that we are meeting here today on Wurundjeri land and that the arts and healing practices have always been intrinsically connected and embedded in First Nations culture. It seems we're all just finally starting to catch up. I've been reflecting on this connection to land, bodies, arts, culture and healing, and how so easily we separate them. I wonder how, as a biracial woman of colour, with an ancestry steeped in colonisation, I can find authentic connection to place. For me, connection to myself and others has always been through movement, from lounge room dancing to Madonna with my sister, to travels to my motherland to study classical Indian dance, to my Bollywood school where I revel in the joy, connection and growth I see my students experience, especially the older women who were told they were not enough to dance as children. And now I believe I found the missing piece of the puzzle in creative arts therapy. I feel a connection to Melbourne Uni, where I did my undergrad many years ago, a place my father and sister also studied, a place my late uncle, Professor Vinda Cruz, was an academic. He was the first person to teach me to deeply question knowledge and look through the different layers of perception, and he ignited my drive towards social change. He also took me to my first Bharatanatyam performance, after which I was forever changed. He showed me the path back to my culture, a connection that had been suppressed. I feel deeply connected to the land I now call home, Bundjalung land in northern New South Wales. And as many of you may know, earlier this year our region experienced a devastating natural disaster, multiple flood events from which we have not yet recovered. While my home was inundated with water, the connection I felt to my fellow peers and our practice was an absolute lifeline. The easy path would have been to drop out or defer uni, but deep inside of me, I knew I was developing the skills I would need to support my community to find their way back to themselves, the land, their bodies, and each other. I believe as artists we create culture and connection. We can inspire a sense of identity, belonging, and pride in our communities. Logging onto Zoom in those first few weeks after the flood felt strange, but the sea of connected, expressive, and empathetic faces carried me forward. Thank you, my beautiful Creative Arts Therapy Forever friends, the staff, Kat, Ella, Kate, and Amanda. I would definitely not be standing here today without your support. Also, thank you to my family and friends, my husband who showed up and hung out with my kids while I smashed out yet another essay, and to my daughters who were my personal cheer squad, counting down the number of essays until I was free. I find myself now in a new job, bridging the gap between community, academia, government, and the land in the disaster recovery space. On my first day, I shook hands with the Deputy Minister for Climate Change and spoke to her about the importance of a trauma-informed approach in areas that would not normally be found, like reconstruction. This course gave me the skills and confidence to speak up for creative arts. I would also like to thank all of you, the graduating class of 2022, for bringing your dance, music, art, film, and most importantly, connection to the world. Henry Matisse said, "Creativity takes courage," and I believe that courage connects us all. We don't know where our journey will take us, but we do know that the connections we've made here will continue in our hearts. The world needs more expressive and attuned people like you, so to you all, I bow deeply. And so from talk of connection, we move directly to the heart. But speaking of connection, it does seem an uncanny coincidence that both of this year's valedictorians are Bollywood dancers. And Jainam and I thought we'd just celebrate that quickly with you with a little move.